A proud supporter of this program, Riverbend Food Bank's vision is a hunger-free Iowa and Illinois.
Whelan Presley Funeral Home and Crematory has been serving Quad City families since 1889. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes are located in Rock Island, Milan, and Reynolds and are proud supporters of WQPT.
To the moon and beyond. We look to the skies as the world marks 50 years since landing on the moon and 150 years of celebrating Rock Island County. It's fair time in the cities. It was 50 years ago when some of us sat in amazement looking at a blurry image on our television sets. Neil Armstrong walking on the moon, Buzz Aldrin joining him soon after. But it's been 50 years and most Americans weren't alive then. For those younger than we 50-somethings, there are new miracles far from Earth's orbit. We talk with two men who love looking for them. Joining us is Dr. Robert Mitchell, the director of the Menke Observatory in Dixon, Iowa, and an astronomy and physics professor at St. Ambrose University. Thanks for joining us. Jeff Struve with the Quad Cities Astronomical Society. Thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you.
The moon landing, I mean, it was just a change in how people looked at the skies because, oh my gosh, it actually, you could touch the moon. I mean, is that part of the wonder of astronomy? Is that part of the wonder of what's going on beyond Earth's orbit?
Absolutely, yes.
Why? I mean, because you weren't alive then. I tell you. But I mean, so we've always been on the moon as far as you're concerned.
Well, we've been looking up at the moon since humans first looked up at the sky, yes.
Well, and when you talk about using a telescope, I mean, it's just an amazing view. I mean, you could see everything.
Most everything, yes. Yeah.
So tell me, I mean, the moon, the landing, the change in how America or even the world perceived its satellite, it really all did change in 1969.
Yeah, I think for me, I vaguely remember it. I'm old enough to have been allowed to stay up that late to watch it. It happened, just before 10 p.m., of course. But to me, it was kind of like science fiction became real. I mean, this is reality now. It's really happening. For a few years before, of course, sending up rockets and that kind of thing, that's all interesting, but it just didn't hit home until you actually see somebody is actually there. So it turned sci-fi into reality for the most part, and then it started people thinking about what else can we do and where do we go from here. So it's a growing phenomena.
Well, Dr. Mitchell pointed it out. I mean, in a way, with people when they first get a telescope, that's one of the first things they want to see because it is such an incredible view with a telescope.
Absolutely. And yeah, that was actually my first view also, and it sold me on the hobby. Actually seeing craters. I mean, you don't see that here on Earth. I mean, we're too close. There are places, but you look out your window and see houses and trees and cars, but looking at the moon through a telescope, you don't see that kind of stuff. Craters are very interesting.
Yeah.
Mountain ranges and...
Well, and it is just unworldly. I mean, looking at it from your eye viewpoint is amazing, but looking at it through a telescope's got to be phenomenal.
Completely alien landscape to anything we're used to here on Earth, yes.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the Menke Observatory, and it is open to the public so often so that people can actually get a view of the planets, the satellites, the stars.
Yes, the Menke Observatory is owned and operated by St. Ambrose University, and we do hold monthly open houses, usually from May through September. Now this particular year we couldn't find a July date that didn't interfere with other schedules. So this year we're also doing an open house in October.
Okay, and as long as we're talking about the moon for a moment, is that, I mean, the moon really affects how you look at the planets and the stars. I mean, if you have a full moon, a bright moon, that really impacts what you're able to do.
You pretty much can't see anything else except the planets if the full moon is out, yes.
And the Astronomical Society has been around for quite some time.
Yeah, right.
Tell me about your membership.
Yeah, well, we have about 35 people right now, and mostly amateur astronomers. The club's open to basically anyone that has an interest, and we all like to share our war stories about the imaging we do. We do astrophotography, of course, a lot of us, and a lot of visual astronomy, and there's some new facets of astronomy we're getting into now, spectroscopy and exoplanet detection and that sort of thing. But we meet at St. Ambrose actually once a month, and then we also have public events out at our observatory, which is about miles the crow flies from St. Ambrose facility. So yeah, we enjoy having people join and come out. And yeah, the moon is a challenge.
Well, I was looking at, there was a website that was mentioning some of the top discoveries over the last 10 years, and the discovery of exoplanets, planets that are, and correct me if I'm wrong, planets that are Earth-like elsewhere, is just blossoming the field.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Well, exoplanets are any planet that is in a solar system other than ours, whether that exoplanet is Earth-like or Jupiter-like or anything in between.
And what's amazing about the discovery is that you don't actually necessarily always see that planet. It is just how it passes by the star.
In most cases, we don't see the planet directly, yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's just kind of fascinating, is that, I mean, that's why you know math and physics.
It is an important part of the field.
So, I mean, is that something that you're able to do easily?
Well,
I mean, as amateurs?
actually, yeah, it can be. You don't need a lot of sophisticated gear for that. You have to understand what to do.
And what to look for.
Yeah, really what you're doing is you're measuring the brightness of the star. And with the progress we've made with like Kepler and K2 and such, we know of some stars that have these exoplanets, so amateur astronomers can already find that star then and just focus their cameras on it and take pictures over a period of time and watch for the dip in the brightness. So it's very, very subtle, but we can do that now. And of course, we're not really discovering a lot as amateur astronomers, just kind of verifying and having fun with it and confirming, actually, that this is what's going on.
And let's be honest, I mean, the amateurs have such an important role as far as progressing the science. I mean,
Yes.
The professionals know what they're looking for, but it's amazing how many people around the world in perhaps better viewing areas than the Midwest are able to, underline what's already been discovered or just find something new?
Well, in terms of underlying what's already been discovered, we're at a point now where we are accumulating so much data from telescopes and space probes, there aren't enough professional astronomers in the world to process it all. So in many cases, we've made this data available to the general public for them to look through. And in several cases at least, in many cases, members of the general public have found like new exoplanets buried within the data that's been made public.
Yeah, because I mean, for some people, this is a fascinating, I mean, it's the minutia of details, but some people, that's the perfect hobby for them.
Yes.
And have you seen
Yeah.
that as well?
Yeah, and one step further on that even, the amateur astronomers are the one that brings it to the public. Otherwise, who's going to show the kindergarten, first, second, third grade that there's this type of science out there that they can get into for a vocation? So without the public awareness, you know, maybe there's not going to be so many astronomers if they don't know it's a viable vocation.
That's very
so
true.
we bring it to the public. The public comes out and it takes the next step of visiting observatories, and then sometimes they get the bug and all of a sudden it turns into a college degree and running an observatory in Chile.
No, and I was going to ask you that, how phenomenal would that be? And I was going to ask you that because you are a professor at St. Ambrose University. You deal
Yes.
with young people who are just starting a career or even starting their lives. I mean, when you think of the moon landing, when you think of some of the spacecrafts, the New Horizons going to Pluto and beyond, you think of Voyager, you think of all of these things that are absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. Is there still awe? Is there still wonderment among some of the students that you have? Or is it kind of blasé, hey, we've been there, we've done that?
No, I see wonder among the students, yeah. And not just among the college-age students that I teach on a regular basis, but kids of all ages who come to the star parties. And particular joy is when, like, a little kid looks at the telescope for the first time, sees Jupiter or Saturn or whatever, and just totally thunderstruck by it.
Saturn has to be the one.
That is a
Incredible,
favorite.
yeah.
Show them Saturn, they're hooked for life.
And it's not even one time. Every time people look at it, it's like, wow, I'm seeing the rings on Saturn.
Yeah.
It's really there, you
Yeah,
know. And
yeah.
it's always a very neat thing.
Yeah, tell me about the star party that's coming up.
Star Party. We've got in September, on the 27th through the 29th, we've got an event that we hold annually, and we do hold it at Menke Observatory. It's the Quad City Astronomical Society Eastern Iowa Star Party, And right now we have about 20-some people registered. It's for amateur astronomers, and we bring guest speakers in, and we spend 3 nights staying up all night long till sunrise and sleep all morning.
Best viewing time.
And that's all we do is do astronomy. And last year's event, we mentioned earlier, talking before the broadcast about the event where the rock hit Jupiter. Well, we had the guy that was involved with that, Dr. David Levy, was one of our guest speakers last year.
Was it Levy Shoemaker?
Yeah,
Shoemaker Levy.
I'm sorry, I got it right. Yeah, okay.
Yes. So he was one of our guest speakers last year, and this year we're actually focusing on exoplanets. Last year was space rocks, this year's exoplanets, and we've got a gentleman that dissects the data that Kepler, K2, and TESS are involved with to discover these things. So we get some involved talks, and it's a fun time.
But as you said, I mean, the observatories are open frequently for the public. I mean, you don't have to just go to the star party.
Right.
Yes. The next public event at Menke Observatory is August 17th, and then we'll have another one on September 21st and October 19th.
And then, of course, coming up August 3rd,
Right.
this is when we start looking for what? The shooting stars, the asteroids, the real shows in the sky at times.
Meteors.
Right.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, we have a meteor shower party that's open to the public. It'll be held at the Pleasant Valley Junior High School, and that's August 3rd, like you said, about sunset till however late people stay. We've been doing this for the last 3 years, and last year we had 350 people. And a lot of them stay till midnight or so, and it's a good time. You don't need to bring anything. Bring a lawn chair. The kids kick back with the family and focus your eyes at the sky and watch for shooting stars, and it's a good thing. We'll have a couple cameras there, so we'll be showing some presentations against the school wall on the outside. So. And
we were talking earlier too, is that to get involved, I mean, a lot of people will just stop at a hobby shop maybe and buy a telescope and give it to Junior and say, hey, look up. You don't necessarily have to do that because you can get them in a starter set.
Yeah, I kind of recommend that people don't buy telescopes at first. We're fortunate in the United States that every state has multiple clubs. In our area, we're very fortunate. We've got 2 great astronomy clubs and another just a few hours away. So the best bet is to get with the club, and then you can try out some of the gear that club members have. We all love having people look through our gear, and you can learn what kind of astronomy there is to do because different telescopes do different things. And clubs even have loaner telescopes, like we do have a number of loaner telescopes. So rather than go out and buy and find out that it gets stuck in the closet or that you didn't buy for what you want to do, join a club, participate, and have some camaraderie. Some family time together under the stars is always a good thing. And then we can actually help you direct yourselves toward buying the proper telescope when the time is right for you.
And over the next few weeks, the best viewing as far as the planets are concerned really is what? Jupiter and Saturn, some of the stars that you'd want to see anyhow.
Yes.
So the key is, if you're going to get involved, do it now.
It's never too soon.
Never too soon. Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you so much. Dr. Robert Mitchell, thank you so much from St. Ambrose University. Jeff Struve from the Quad City Astronomical Society. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, the next Eastern Iowa Star Party will be held in September at the Menke Observatory, that is. And all the details are at the Astronomical Society's website. It's qcas.org. Marking 150 years of some down-to-earth fun. That's still to come, but first, Laura Adams has a look at the community events you don't want to miss the next time you go out and about.
This is Out and About for July 15th through 21st. For the 5th summer in a row, the Figge Art Museum offers free admission to the museum through August 11th. There are a variety of free summer concerts, including the Hot Rods performing at the Moline Township Activity Center July 15th starting at 6:30, Tony Hepner and Friends at the River Music Experience Courtyard for Live at 5 on the 19th starting at 5, Mercado on 5th features music by Los Supercats on the 19th, the fun starts at 5 o'clock, and Faze Field and Bettendorf hosts the Generations Band on the 20th at 6:30. Meanwhile, the 2019 Quad Cities Craft Beer Fest takes place at Bass Street Landing July 20th from 1 to 4, showcasing microbreweries. It's a family affair as the Rock Island County Fair celebrates 150 years July 16th through the 20th. Plus, the Davenport Zither Ensemble's annual summer concert takes place at the German American Heritage Center on Sunday, July 21st from 2 to 3. There's still time to catch the toe-tapping musical Holiday Inn, based on the Fred Astaire movie, closing the 20th at Circa 21. Plus, the tap dancing musical 42nd Street at Quad City Music Guild runs through the 20th as well. And Playcrafters Barn Theater presents Something Intangible, a dramedy about the lives of Walt and Roy Disney through the 21st. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. Jenny Lynn Stacy is part of the foursome that hit the stage as Jenny Lynn Stacy and the Dirty Roosters. That's what they're called. She calls her music blue trash. It's kind of a mix of bluegrass and country punk. Jenny Lynn joined us on the stage at the Black Box Theater in Moline to give us a taste of some of the music she's working on. So here's Jenny Lynn Stacy and Nothing to Lose.
We were falling
That's Jenny Lynn Stacy and Nothing to Lose. It was a simpler time 150 years ago when agriculture dominated not only our economy but our everyday lives. It was in that time when the Rock Island County Fair started. Agriculture is still important to our area, and the fair celebrates that each year for a week at the fairgrounds in East Moline. And joining us is the president of the Rock Island County Fair, Kate Jennings. Thanks so much for joining us.
Jim, thank you for having me.
This is a true agriculture fair. This is where the kids, the 4-H'ers, the adults, they are there. They are contestants all over the place.
Yeah, absolutely. We find that we are uniquely situated for a lot of county fairs, being located in the heart of East Moline, really. And we take kind of our mission of agriculture, educating our neighbors about agriculture very seriously, because we have that opportunity with the more urban area around us.
150 years, that's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, we have been doing a lot of historical research in preparation for this year and found, all sorts of things. One thing that we can always count on is hot weather. We have seen. And, the fair's taken place in numerous places throughout the county, settled on the fairgrounds in East Moline in the mid-50s, and have been there ever since. But really fascinating history.
Well, I want to talk about the fact that it is an agricultural fair, and we've seen such a decline in the number of farmers. The number of farmers, the average age is climbing. But we've also seen such an interest at Western Illinois University in agricultural sciences and you're seeing 4-H clubs that are just prospering in our area. I mean, tell me a little bit about how the fair is dealing with the ag interest throughout the area.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have seen some declined entries over the past few years, but I think what we're excited about and what we're seeing is that the generation that's maybe my age and a little bit younger is starting to have kids, and so those kids are starting to get involved. So we're going to see another new group of kids joining 4-H and showing animals and coming to the fair and, kind of growing up doing that, and then hopefully staying on farms or keeping involved in agriculture and then raising their own families doing that too, to kind of keep our tradition alive.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that maybe 15, 20 years ago that might have been a concern, and now it just seems to be, it's a vibrant community and there's a lot of interest in farming.
Absolutely. We are blessed here to have great farmers on our board, active in the fair, and we like to see that growing.
Well, I mean, I got a list of your accomplishments over the last 5 years, and your board and the people that you work with are very proud of the work that you have done with the Rock Island County Fair, especially in making sure that it's on a firm financial footing and also to update facilities. I mean, those are two critically important things.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the state went through a bit of a financial crisis, which did affect many county fairs. We were lucky that we didn't have as much damage done as some other surrounding fairs, but we really took a look and said, our goal is to have the fair, and how can we run the fair a little bit more like a business, focusing maybe some more on the entertainment side of things that makes more money, so that we can keep the agriculture side of things strong too. So we've worked hard. We have done a ton of facility improvements.
And let's talk about that, because like you said, the move to East Moline in the 1950s, well, things get older and older, and now we're like, 70 years after?
Yes. So this year, we have gotten all of our barns painted. Everything's a nice white and with red trim now, very uniform throughout the fairgrounds. We've painted, planted flowers. We've updated bathrooms in the grandstand, really trying to make things clean, crisp, and really inviting for the public.
And you're also trying to go as high tech as possible using social media and making sure the word gets out. Tell me about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a Facebook page that is very active. We have been doing some Facebook Lives. In fact, right before I came here, we had our second calf in the birthing center being born, and I noticed that they went live there, so folks could go check that out. We've got a Snapchat filter this year and Instagram, so really trying to embrace social media and attract more people that way to come visit the fair and learn about agriculture.
I know it's part of your slogan, but the key word there is family, isn't it? I mean, that's a big deal for the Rock Island County Fair.
Yeah, we have tried to make things as family friendly as possible, keeping admission rates low. This year we have an all-new carnival that has a separate area for smaller kid rides, so you don't have to worry about your little kids being mixed in with teenagers, things like that. We've also added what we're calling the Little Farmer's Barnyard with some agriculture activities. We made stick horses for kids to play with. There's some photo ops to be a little farmer. So just really trying to attract young families to come have fun and learn about agriculture.
You touched on the date as being, it's very warm right now. But on the other hand, that's really a tradition for a lot of fairs. And when it comes to all the events that are in the Quad City area, I mean, you seem to have a good week that you pick.
Yes, so I will say maybe 5 or 6 years ago, we thought maybe we can get ahead of this hot weather. We moved into the end of June, tried this for 1 year, and it was still somehow the hottest week of the year. So we're back to our 3rd week in July date. We know it's hot, but we do take measures to try to keep our fairgoers and of course our livestock safe. And you know, something that we've dealt with probably for 150 years now, the heat.
We got it almost figured out, right? But tell me what the most important thing, of course, is that you've got a great group of organizers and volunteers, and that's really what helps make the fair a success.
Absolutely. So our organization is entirely volunteer run. We do have one part-time employee that keeps things kind of on track for us, but anything that's happening at the fairgrounds is because of our volunteers, either, you know, folks setting up for the shows or year-round maintaining the grounds. All volunteers, so we're very grateful for those folks that come out and help us.
And what is, you know, we also talk about the showing of the animals and all that. I mean, the Rock Island County Fair also sets the stage for some of these kids for if you do well at this fair?
Yes, then they can go on to the state fair. The 4-H folks will go on to the state fair and show their livestock there or their general projects. So always exciting to see kids succeeding and pursuing their passion.
And usually, do they do pretty good? Because I mean, it's a big state, I know.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. We are always proud. We have tons of projects in, not just the livestock, but baked goods and art projects and things like that. And just really excited for those kids to get to move on and go compete at the state fair.
And of course, for those people who don't really care about the animals, they care about the rides, the food, the drinks. You seem to have some of that as well.
We have some of that too. So we have an all-new carnival this year. We've got more rides, I think, than we've ever had before. And the exciting part, we heard a lot about wristband day, so unlimited rides. Our carnival's running that every day from 5 to 10 and 1 to 5 on Saturday. So for $25, you get your wristband and can ride as many rides as you'd like.
Kate Jennings, enjoy the fair, right?
Thank you.
Bring
yes.
your family, bring your friends, pack that place.
We hope to see everybody out at the fairgrounds.
And happy 150th anniversary. That's
Thank
quite
you
a
so
milestone,
much.
so congratulations on that as well. WQPT is doing its part to support the military men and women in the cities who are serving our nation. We call it Embracing the Military. And Army Community Service wants to make sure your child has a good book in his or her hands this summer. The 3rd of 4 Summer Reading Adventures is coming up this Thursday, July 25th at the Colonel Davenport House. Kids of all ages can take part, and this month they'll travel back in time to experience life on the Arsenal in the 1800s. You can contact Army Community Service in Building 110 to get registered. On the air, on the radio, on the web, and on your mobile device, thanks for taking some time to join us. We talk about the issues on the cities.
A proud supporter of this program, Riverbend Food Bank's vision is a hunger-free Iowa and Illinois.
Whelan Presley Funeral Home and Crematory has been serving Quad City families since 1889. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes are located in Rock Island, Milan, and Reynolds and are proud supporters of WQPT.